Alright, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called The Dirty Dozen, 1967. This is going to be another Lee Marvin World War II movie. I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't think it was as good as Samuel Fuller's The Big Red One. I thought it was too long, 2.5 hours. Do you really need that much buildup to close in on the ending battle scene? It seemed like the ending battle scene was so intricate and carefully planned, even though the plan went somewhat awry thanks to Telly Savalas, that it could have been extended longer, and the beginning of the movie could have even been shortened while the ending was extended longer. I have to state right off the bat that I'm not a big fan of Robert Aldrich. I thought his 1955 film noir Kiss Me Deadly was about the same, 3 out of 5 stars. I hated Nashville. I guess he was involved somehow with Mask of the Red Death, which is one of the not so good Vincent Price movies from the 60s. And then I hated, I really disliked Frisco Kid. But I think his worst movie is Nashville. That's the one he's most famous for, ironically. And anyways, it's about these 12 guys. They're in military prison. Most of them are ready to get hanged for various crimes that they committed, and the other ones are serving like 20 years in military prison. So I guess the army comes up with some cockamamie scheme to have these guys take over this chateau in France that's being used by the Nazis, leading up to right up to D-Day, and it's like a suicide mission, I guess. But the criminals go along with it because they think it's better than getting hanged, or maybe there's a slight chance that they might actually come out of it alive. So a lot of big names in this movie, by the way. Lee Marvin plays the not the general, but the I guess the rank below the general. I can't remember the name. Like Field Marshal, or I don't know. And then sorry, I'm a little tired. I can't remember all the army terms and whatnot. But he's in charge of putting this motley crew together to go on a special mission. He gets busted for hiring a bunch of prostitutes for them, and he says, okay, well, let me prove that these guys can do a good job. I'm going to take over the general's practice little battle station there. So they do, and they prove themselves, and they get to take over the chateau. Charles Bronson is in this. Joe Bob Briggs once said that street houses ought to be preserved in just so that Charles Bronson could be seen 30 feet high as God intended. So that's pretty cool. It's got Jim Brown and big blaxploitation star later on. And then it's got Donald Sutherland, the communist Canadian whose relatives started the single-payer healthcare disaster in Canada, where people are having to wait in the emergency rooms because everybody's going to the emergency room for a common cold, that kind of thing. And then who else? It's got Telly Savalas. He's not sucking on a lollipop though in this one. He's like a racist Southern guy who's really into the Bible. He hates prostitutes and loose women. And at the end, he kind of compromises the mission by getting everybody's attention because of one of those ladies. So that was kind of interesting. Interesting Telly Savalas character. He's like doesn't want to eat with Jim Brown and calls him the N-word. Pretty cool explosions and Lee Marvin's driving around this huge tank thing that's like running over cars and taking down bridges and stuff. That was pretty awesome. I have to admit the ending was spectacular though. And who else is in this? The guy from Rosemary's Baby is in it. He got an Oscar, I think, for this movie. And so George Kennedy is in it also. But he doesn't get very many lines, unfortunately. And then my DVD player just completely wouldn't charge at all today. So I finally exercised the warranty on it, got a replacement right away. Best Buy in San Bruno. That was pretty cool. I got my son the Mario Maker 2 video game for his Nintendo Switch. So had a little bit of money this week, not much, but I think I'll have a lot of money next week. So hopefully I can catch up on some bills. We'll see how that goes. I'm about a couple weeks behind on bills right now. Thanks to my mean employer cutting my overtime, but my son's going to be gone for 8 days, going on vacation with his evil mother. And then I got him back for a 4-day weekend the following week, which would be cool because then I can catch up on some of these videos. I wanted to watch Cool Hand Luke, but I ended up watching the bonus features instead. So that's one that I got to get through. Hopefully not this week because I'm working about 80 hours, but hopefully the week after when I'm like fully rested and ready to watch like 10 movies at once when my son is here. And then I'm in the George Kennedy section of my Netflix queue, so Cool Hand Luke is up next, but I do have another Linda Blair movie that's kind of stuck at the top. Just came off short wait, so I should be getting that on Tuesday. And then I've got Doris Wishman's Diary of a Nudist. to watch. So those are the sneak previews of my next reviews. And can't say check this movie out. Can't say highly recommend it. I'm not going to post anything except for the actors' names and the director's name in the description box there. So that's the end of my review. Laters.